Goj, you ever been in a situation in your years doing sports radio, sports media, where you feel like the producer is your boss and not the other way around? I mean,
Oh yeah, all the time. The other day, I offered up an idea for something I wanted to do at the end of the show, and
yeah,
our producer was kind of like, "I don't know if it really fits here," and I just was like, "Oh, okay," and just like left it alone, not thinking like, "Oh no," but I want to talk about this, so we should
right.
probably talk about it. So yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. You start to just trust them so much. It's like, "Oh no, yeah, they're right. I'm wrong."
right. Yeah. Well, meet my boss. I mean, I know you've met before, but say hi
Oh
to Taylor.
yeah.
Yeah. He is my boss. How would you feel about this? I'm on vacation. Taylor called me. I said, I'm ready to record. And then we hung up. And then he got a call from the groomer because Oakley, his dog, was ready to be picked up.
Oh.
And so what he did was he chose Oakley over me. What I got after that call was a text, 10 minutes later. I said, Taylor, I thought we were recording. He said, Oakley's ready. I need an hour. How should I feel about that, Gojo?
You should feel proud because, honest to God, that sounds like some shit you'd say.
Yeah, right.
Like, that sounded like doing a bit of a Stugotz text about having his dog get groomed. So you should
Right.
be very proud.
I know, but I need someone who's not me, Gojo.
That is
Yeah.
always the interesting part with whoever Stugotz's producer is. That's why, like, Stanzik, who wrote the book for Stugotz and with Stugotz, is perfect because he is the complete antithesis of Stugotz. He is neurotic. He is attention to detail. He, bristles against power, which I guess is like both of you to an extent, but
Right.
it worked really well.
Yes, but whatever Stanzik told me to do, I would do, right?
Yes, very coachable.
Just by Stanzik. He's a great head coach.
Stanzik is like the head coach that rules with an iron fist. Like he's like Belichickian.
Yes, yes. Speaking of coaches who rule with an iron fist, Nick Saban coming back?
I wouldn't be shocked, would you?
No, get out of here. In fact, I think he is.
Well, Stugotz, like you know how this is. I mean, you were at ESPN a lot longer than I was, but even in the 6, 7 years I was there, how many times did you see coaches come back who just, no matter how much they were on different shows, no matter how good the environment is there, and I always told people this as someone that had comparatively less experience in high level athletics, you still are always craving something you're never going to find anywhere else in terms of the camaraderie and the competition. Like Nick Saban can go and try and help get College Game Day great ratings all he wants. It is nothing compared to trying to win the old SEC West, win them a national championship. So these guys just get addicted to that feeling after so long. So I won't be stunned at all if and when he does go back.
Do you think if he does come back, do you think it would be the NFL or do you think it would be college?
I still think college would be an option here. Like, I think people bringing up name, image, and likeness, the thing that kind of it was one of the aspects of the game that drove Nick away a little bit, or at least made him think about retirement to the point where he actually pulled the trigger. Like all the changes in the sport, I think by the time he would come back in, let's say, the next couple of years, we're already seeing it become a little bit more regimented and steadied, right? Where Nick Saban, like he'd come back and there's, a soft salary cap that we're going to have in college football now with the revenue sharing. Most programs have a defined GM whose job it is to worry about all the money stuff. And so you might, in theory, get closer to a point where Nick Saban could come back and just be the football coach. You'd still be dealing with a different generation of young people than maybe he was used to coaching in certain ways. But as long as that's not a daunting challenge, which I doubt it is for someone with his background, then I think that we might get college football closer to a place sooner where he might be willing to come back because it feels closer to what he was doing.
Gojo, Kalen DeBoer had a pretty up and down year last year in his first year at Alabama, but do you think he's kind of hearing all this speculation being like, come on, guys, I don't need this right now?
Honestly, I don't think Kalen should be that worried. Like, I don't know if it would be a reunion at Alabama for Nick, unless things really bottomed out for them this year. Like, I feel like as rocky as it was for Kalen at times last year, like the Vanderbilt loss is going to stick in their craw for a while. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. it feels like Alabama got a real glow up in the postseason because the entire SEC decided to make them the totem for all the problems with the college football playoff committee. Like, it wasn't Alabama's fault for losing games they shouldn't have against Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. It was the committee's fault for not recognizing the SEC is so dominant they needed to put them in. So in a weird way, we stopped talking about any of the anxiety around Alabama and Kalen DeBoer's first year after the season, because the whole conversation around them became they were the example of what was wrong with how we picked the postseason.
Stu, I saw the perfect headline that when I saw it, I immediately wrote it down because I knew you would love it. With this Alabama team, starving Tide, ready for revenge tour under Kalen DeBoer. Second year.
Starving? GoJo, what are we talking? They're not starving. There is no revenge tour. No one has won more than Alabama over the last 20 years. I mean,
but Stu, you know how it is, man. You get rich person problems real quick, right?
I know.
You know what it is? It's like moving to Los Angeles from Connecticut. When I live in Connecticut, that one first day when it's like 55 degrees, maybe even 49 degrees in the spring, shorts are on. I'm in flip-flops and a tank top walking outside. It's paradise.
You got
now
to
in Los
strut.
Angeles, oh, you got a strut about you there. You're strutting and peacocking to go get your iced coffee while it's still cold. In Los Angeles, if it's 49 degrees, I have 3 layers on at this point. Like, it's just a matter of perspective. And when you're Alabama's perspective, I have no doubt they are starving both internally and externally in Tuscaloosa.
It is the reason, GoJo, people say in any profession, you don't want to replace the guy. You want to replace the guy that replaces the guy. I mean, those are tough shoes to fill, GoJo.
It is. It's daunting, but I still maintain that Kalen DeBoer is made of the right stuff, mostly because, like, the tendency, I think, when you're the guy replacing the guy is usually to try and mimic, to try. And, you know, we saw, I think, some of this in the baton handoff to Gerard Mayo in New England after Bill Belichick, and how difficult that was. And quite honestly, we've seen that, Stugotz, for so many of the Patriot assistants. Actually, I shouldn't say that with Gerard Mayo. He was more candid with the media and a bunch of stuff. What I was thinking of was all the Patriot assistants. Like all of the guys like Matt Patricia that want to walk into the Lions locker room, act like Bill Belichick without yet having, you know, gotten the players to buy in, having a resume to back that up so the guys believe what you're telling them. That's where it gets difficult, where you try and mimic the person you left behind. Kalen DeBoer is very comfortable in his own skin. This year, having Ryan Grubb back, I think, is going to go a long way. Was his offensive coordinator at Washington, going all the way back to like his Sioux Falls days. Like, a lot of Kalen's staff at UW were guys that had been with him, you know, coming up through the ranks. And then Grubb last year was supposed to be there, got the Seahawks OC job. That didn't go well really for either party. And so now coming back and having those two reunited, I do think is an added bit of comfort for both of them in understanding what they want to do and how they're going to do it.
And GoJo, you were a part of a college program. Thinking back to my college days, those college coaches have a way to brainwash people in that locker room where it's like, if they tell you you're an underdog, nobody believes in you, even if it's Alabama against USF, you're like, you know what? I did hear somebody kind of doubt us.
I had a...
Coaches make shit up, dude. I mean, seriously.
I have the best example of this is from high school.
All right. So, GoJo, give your example, because I think I have a better example, and it's courtesy of me. But you go first, okay?
All right. In high school, I went to a school called Northwest Catholic, a little school in central Connecticut, and our rival was Berlin High School. They were the Berlin Redcoats or something like that. Big red. Ours was green. Theirs was red, really contrasting Christmas colors. And a couple of guys on our team, as a joke, went one day early in the season, like it wasn't Berlin week yet, it was early in the season, and they put a Berlin football bumper sticker on the back of our head coach's van. And they thought he was going to lose his mind, be pissed. He didn't say anything, didn't make a peep. Weeks pass by. Finally, we're in the middle of the season, and coach walks into the locker room in the pregame before we're playing Berlin, and he says, "Look what they put on my car," and then throws it on the ground and starts stomping on it, screaming, "We are going to win this game, and we are going to show them." And we're all getting hype and also dying laughing in the back of the locker room, knowing that we were the source of the motivation for this game.
Wait, it still motivated you even knowing you were the source?
Well, that's Taylor's point. Like, it's very easy to get drunk on the energy and adrenaline of, yeah, you know what? Screw them. We're going to kick their ass because we already wanted to. And then, still getting to kind of laugh at it. It is a weird part of sports brain where you cannot help but get caught up in that group mentality for something like that.
All right, mine's slightly different, where I was coaching Rachel's lacrosse team, GoJo, as you know, for many, many years, and we had great success. We were playing a team called Heroes Green. They had the best goalie in Rachel's class. She was the number one goalie recruit in the country. She was fantastic, and she's still playing in college right now. I think she plays at Ohio State. Rachel scored a goal off of her last year. So no need to throw that in, but anyway. Anyway, I drummed up a story where I told my kids, because I felt like they needed some motivation, where I had walked past this goalie and she was talking to the head coach and her dad, and she said there's no bleeping way any kid from South Florida is scoring on me. Conversation never happened. I never heard it. I totally made it up, brought it into the team huddle, and said, listen, I walked past that goalie on Heroes Green. Look at her. She's right over there. You see her? That's her. I walked past her. She was talking to dad. She was talking to her head coach. And she said, there is no chance in hell that any girl from fucking South Florida is going to score a goal on me. I have never seen my team more hyped in my entire life.
Hey, you know what that is? That's coaching, Stugotz. That's why you're the best at what you did. You never let the truth get in the way of a good pump-up speech.
Put it on the polls. That coaching.
Did you guys win that game?
Oh, yeah, we won. I mean, we rang her up for like 12. Are you kidding me?
Then, yes, that's coaching.
I think I told the story on the air, and then I saw the dad a couple of years later. She's like, my daughter never. I go, I know. Sorry. I needed some motivation.
It's like the water boy. I never said anything about your mama.
Your coach should have lied more.
It's so the moral of the story.
GoJo, before I get back to college football, I am wondering how you feel about renting out someone else's pool or backyard. Is that something? Because Taylor and I were talking yesterday, right? We were talking about the fact that you can, Airbnb your house, you can do it with a car, and now people are buying other people's pools for the day and their backyard. If I had a house that had a pool, I'd like to think I don't need the money and I wouldn't rent it out because I don't want strangers in my backyard. Right. I don't want kids peeing in my pool. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, that's the weird part to me is I understand people who would buy a whole property and say, I'm going to use this as a rental and people can come stay there. But is the idea then really that when I rent this, I can only be out in the backyard of the pool? Like if I need to go inside and get something out of the fridge, all of a sudden I'm persona non grata? Like how's that work?
Right. No, you can't. You can't go inside. You have to stay in the back. I mean,
I don't like the setup for anybody here. Like, right. I wouldn't like sitting inside watching a bunch of other people because you know how it is, Stugotz. Whenever you're hosting something, you're spending 70% of the time like micromanaging the situation. Is everyone having a good enough time? Is stuff in the right place? Is anything getting moved that needs to be somewhere else? Like you're kind of cleaning up while stuff is going on. And so now you have to do that from the inside. You can't actually do anything because they're paying you money and you're watching a bunch of people who care even less about your stuff than your own friends actually would. So no, that sounds like anxiety. And if you're the people out of the pool, how much fun are you going to have doing it like you're at a pool at a zoo? Like I feel like one of the hippos swimming around inside the pool with someone outside just sitting there in the glass watching me and my friends in my bathing suits. That's weird.
So it doesn't work for you either way, right? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think either side of this relationship wins. Outside of like, yes, you're getting money for this, which to your point, if you can afford the pool, probably in good enough shape to where that's not a reality. So I don't get this.
That was exactly my point.
Right, and there's a whole separate set of problems for people doing the renting. I mean, eventually you have to tell your kids, hey, this backyard paradise we're in at, we have to go back home. And they're going to say, hey, how come we don't have one of these? What is Dad doing? I mean,
yeah, that awkward car ride home in the van of Daddy, why don't we have a pool?
Right.
What does their daddy do for work? Why don't you do that?
I want to live with the Golics.
I will say, being the kid with the pool gets you a lot of friends. It really does. Like there is Nothing quite like it. Like you'd think like, oh, the nepotism, dad being kind of famous when I was growing up, that's the draw. That's not the draw. The pool's the draw, especially pool with a little basketball hoop in there. Game over with a bunch of young athletic kids. It's an absolute field day.
Yeah, get you everything. I do love the idea of like, dad telling the kid it's time to go home. The kid is hanging on to your dad's leg. He doesn't want to go home with his dad.
I'll do whatever chores you want, mister. I'll take out the trash. I'll wash the dishes. Just let me stay in the pool.
Do you think so? What's next here in terms of renting things out? I was telling Taylor we should rent this podcast out. We should rent out the platform and the feed. And Taylor came up with a great idea. That's how we fill weekends. We have people pay us to fill the weekends for us.
Are you subletting a podcast? Is that essentially what's happening here?
I'm thinking about it.
That is such an incredible, like, ass backwards way to just build a programming line of. It's like, on the weekend we're going to do different shows, but you're going to pay me to come on and do the show. That is the most Stugotzian radio structure I've ever heard in my life.
I think we need to get on it though, right? We got to try it out at least.
I think it's a great idea, first off. I love it. So I think that's going to work. But what else can we rent out? Like, because you already have, I guess, like Uber and Lyft, you're not renting somebody else's car.
No, but there is a service called
Mike Turo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
So you already have that.
And you can do it with boats now, too.
So what else are we honestly, here's a great one. And this is as someone who at times has a lot of stomach issues that make the bathroom in my home a bit of a war zone. Rent out someone's bathroom. Wow. You got to go and take like a really nasty dump, and you don't want to do that at home. Like, because I know people
or you can't make it home.
You can't make it home. And I know some people are particular. Like, I am not one of these people, but I know there are some people that won't poop at work, won't poop at school. They only want to poop at their home toilet. So they want that feeling of being at home, but you also don't want to come in and crack the porcelain in your own plumbing. And so you outsource that to someone else's bathroom and problem solved. You get that feeling of the home court advantage, but with none of the smell and after effects.
I love that. So you're just driving around. Anyone's bathroom could be your bathroom at any given time. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, like you have an app, it's just like Uber and Lyft where you type it, you look for a bathroom in your area, it pops up a bunch of examples, and you just drive over, the person gives you like a code to come in, and you just go straight to the bathroom, do your business, and then leave right after, and then you can leave them a star rating based on how nice the bathroom is, they can leave you a star rating based on how clean the toilet is after. Like, this seems like a viable business model.
Wow. Taylor, get on this.
Yeah, by the way, anyone listening to this, RIP, if we see this pop up anywhere, Stugotz will get litigious. I can guarantee that.
80-20. Airbnb. I mean. Look on his face.
We'll talk offline. I think we're going to be rich. Stugotz, this may be the best idea you've ever had.
I'm afraid someone's going to get on it. I'm going to tell him to edit it out. I mean,
and I love how I said the best idea you've ever had after I just described this idea to you and you gave it a great name.
It's normally how it works.
I hate it here.
It's all in the branding, man.
Oh, it is great. God, I got legitimate chills.
I know. It was your idea, therefore I will give you 30%, okay?
Thank you. That's all I need. Honored to be involved.
Oh, my God. Airbnb. Please, somebody get on.
Oh.
Listen, it's a fantastic idea. How many times have you had to go to the bathroom and you can't get to your own house? So you just,
and you're looking around for a restaurant or a Starbucks, and then a lot of times they're going to make you enter a code or buy something before you go in. And it's this like perilous bit of calculus that you're trying to do while you're just sitting there clenching in the driver's seat. So to have this as your beacon in the night, an oasis in a shit desert would be incredible.
Yes. All right, back to college football here. You and I will talk offline. We are on this Airbnb. We are, listen, 50-50 partners, okay? 50-50.
Wow.
Is that fair?
Wow, that's huge.
Done.
Well, listen, that's respect, okay? I love GoJo. GoJo deserves really 80% of it.
It's taken me, Taylor, years now to get to the 50-50 split. Years ago, would have been like 90-10, something like that range, and I'd have been begging for 20. We're at 50-50 now. This is huge.
This is how you get there. You don't choose Oakley over me. I mean, that's
Right.
You like that name for a dog, by the way, Oakley?
That is a good name.
Right.
After Charles
if you were to
Oakley.
name your dog after like a Notre Dame player.
That is, well, man, what would a lot of people do like Rockney, Rudy. Those are pretty good dog names.
Yeah.
The fun fact, Notre Dame did have a dog as a mascot in the early years of the school's football team. His name was Clashmore Mike, and he was an Irish setter or an Irish terrier, something like that, and then got phased out in the 60s.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry about that. Terrible.
Thank you.
Okay. I was getting ready for college football, a little thing I like to call prep. And I read that Ryan Day said the reason he didn't grab a quarterback out of the transfer portal is because he wants to develop the three guys that he has on the squad that he recruited to Ohio State. And I thought to myself, Gojo, that sounds like a man who is the furthest removed from the hot seat that he's ever been. He is no longer feeling the pressure. He will take his sweet time developing quarterbacks now.
It's got to be a nice feeling,
Yes.
basking in the glow. I saw him talking the other day. The offense isn't going to change much. Chip Kelly came in, did a great job, but, it was the core of our offense that was still there that he kind of put his spin on, which, all respect to Ryan Day, I do not agree with based on what we saw from the offense in years past and some of the things that Chip brought in there. But Ryan Day deservedly feeling himself. Like, however you feel about Ryan Day, all that guy did was have them in playoff contention every year for the most part. Recruit better than almost anyone in the sport, although you could argue Ohio State always is going to recruit pretty well because of the nature of that program. And his fan base still wanted to fire him because he lost to Michigan for a few years in a row, as recently as this year. So we talked about this with Alabama. The standards are just different at different places. Ohio State's one of those places. And so Ryan Day, you're right, probably exhaling for the first time in a long time after this offseason.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why he's so comfortable with where they're at with the quarterback position is what they have at the receiver position, Gojo. If Jeremiah Smith was NFL draft eligible this past season, where do you think he would have went in the NFL draft?
He'd have been the first receiver off the board. I mean, he
Really?
would have, yes, absolutely. Just physically one of the most impressive 18-year-olds you've ever seen. Like, guys just should not be put down. I say that as we just saw that Bryson Wright or whatever his name was, the kid from the flag football championships this weekend, who's a 6'2", 210-pound 14-year-old. So they're all made of different stuff at this point. But no, Jeremiah Smith, just in terms of his physical ability, what he did within that offense that was an NFL caliber offense, around what Chip Kelly was doing. All of it was just so damn impressive. I obviously saw it up close and personal in the national title game where he had a couple of big plays for that one. He just, to me, and a part of it too is last year's wide receiver class, right? Like Tedero McMillan's the first wide receiver off the board, who's a really good player, big, rangy athlete, but I just do not think in the same tax bracket as Jeremiah Smith. So yeah, I think he would have been a first round pick. I think he would have been wide receiver 1 last year, just based on what we knew about last year's class. In some of the prior classes where you had some bigger names, some more highly touted guys, maybe that experience would start to weigh out, but I just don't know what you saw from Jeremiah Smith in year 1 that you can really poke holes in.
Gojo, you're saying ahead of Travis Hunter.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. How you qualify Travis Hunter. So, because I guess in my brain, Travis, while he's a two-way player and going to get that opportunity, I always thought he was better at cornerback, and so maybe thought of him like that in my brain. So you're right, worthwhile note there. That one would have been a toss-up, I think, just because, again, it's more of the utility of the situation with Travis and how unique he is, but. So again, if you wanted to take Travis Hunter before, sure, fine. We'll make Jeremiah Smith wide receiver 2 out of deference to the two-way Heisman Trophy winner, which is probably the appropriate way to go.
Golic and Golic every afternoon on the FanDuel Sports Network. We have the Echoes as well, a Notre Dame podcast. We'll get to that in just a second. I'm very excited about this. But before we get to that, Gojo, the quarterback who's at a new school, new program, that's going to have the greatest impact is who?
I would. There's
a lot of them, Goj.
Well, the funny part about college football this year, Stugotz, is there's not as many as there used to be. Like when you look at the top of the sport this year, Cade Klubnik, multi-year starter all at Clemson. Garrett Nussmeier, 2-year starter now at LSU and has been there for multiple years, sat behind Jaden Daniels his first year on campus there. Carson Beck is probably the answer to this, right, just because Miami is filling such a massive void that Cam Ward left behind. But the other one that's really interesting to me in the vein of Washington State quarterbacks is John Mateer going to Oklahoma. Like, Brent Venables desperately needs offense. That group had 5 new starters on the offensive line last year that made life really difficult for them. Quarterback play was really spotty, but the defense still looked like Brent Venables' defense to the point where they're able to go and beat an Alabama team that they shouldn't have beat. So I think John Mateer is still very raw as a prospect, but the Viper-like quick release that you saw from Alabama Tua, that was such a selling point for him. And just a jackrabbit in terms of running ability, like the quickest, most sudden runner, I think, in this class. Like, there might be better runners overall, but in terms of that ability to juke, separate on the perimeter, and really make guys miss in space, like, Mateer's a really unique athlete and prospect. So I think him at Oklahoma and what that looks like for them this year fascinates me, maybe a little bit more than Carson Beck at Miami, just because I still have a lot of questions about, Miami portals well, recruits well, but the defense last year couldn't stop anybody, and ultimately Cam Ward couldn't lift them beyond that when it came down the stretch.
While you were answering that, Taylor texted me that he has a biased opinion, and we will get to that. We will get to that biased opinion in just a second. But GoJo, do you think Arch Manning can live up to the expectation, to the hype, to all of it? Because there is a lot of pressure on this kid, man.
There is a lot of pressure. I think. Live up. The hype is he would go through this year and be the number 1 draft pick in this year's class, which there's a million reasons, most notably, which has been the family's approach to this the entire time, that they want this guy to start multiple years in college. Most people who have talked to and around that family seem to indicate, like, he's not coming out in this year's draft class no matter what. This family's history has been staying in college longer than most would, but I think he has. Though. Yeah. it is definitely a new time, but they have navigated one of the most unique recruitment and college tenures in a way that is atypical. Like, this is going to ruin it for so many other high-profile prospects. Like, it's come in, said and done all the right things, sat behind Quinn Ewers for 2 years by and large, didn't hear a peep. Everyone else wanted to make controversy. They gave them nothing, no inkling. They were the good soldier all along. So he's talented enough to live up to it, Stugotz. Like, we've all seen, he's the best runner in their family, clearly gets that athleticism from his parents and not his uncles. He's a guy with a live enough arm. And I think most importantly, he's with Sark, who is still one of the best play callers in college football. They're going to have a lot of new parts on their offensive line, which is big because that's the thing Sark's done best since he got to Austin, is he rebuilt the trenches there. It's why they're perennial contenders right now. But having him as a play caller and knowing they've shown an ability to assimilate talent around the quarterback as well as anybody, I think Arch has a really good chance to come in and be successful.
The pressure that Arch has is the last name on the jersey. There is no one who has worn that jersey and not turned out to be a good NFL quarterback.
Yeah. 100%. Right. And which again is why, like, they've done right by him. Like, we always talk about the people around in the orbit, the handlers and the hanger-oners of or I shouldn't say hanger-ons like it's a negative connotation, but the groups around and in charge of the careers of these young people, especially now that they're making money. And they've done right by Arch. They have blocked out as much of the noise as humanly possible for a guy who has a definite, like, this is the most hype we've seen around a quarterback Stu got since Tim Tebow, right? Like,
yes.
I know Paul Feinbaum made that comparison that I don't think is apt. Like, Cam Newton was in that room. He's a better quarterback in college than Tim. He was, probably the best single season of college football in my lifetime. But in terms of the mania that comes with it, this is as close to Tebow mania as we're going to get.
Yeah, no doubt. They should have changed his last name. If they care about the kid, they should have done that. I mean, that's all.
that is probably true. Just try to do it to someone. Do the what did Eli Manning do? The mustache thing, the fake player. Like, just do that for Arch. Have him come in. Yeah, have him come in and wear a phony mustache and go out here and throw under a different name.
All right, Taylor, let's get to your biased opinion and get GoJo out of here. We have to talk about Echoes before he goes, though. Go ahead.
There was Chad Powers. I was looking it up.
That's the one.
But I was looking up transfer quarterbacks on that topic. I pitched Stugotz that we should become the Fernando Mendoza podcast and get in early and be the Fernando Mendoza guys. But we also play a game around here called All Bias Aside. Gio Lopez, South Alabama to North Carolina, lefty quarterback, can spin it. Bill Belichick's first college quarterback. You can make a case.
Shut the fuck up.
Maybe.
It's totally biased.
Maybe.
It's all bias aside, though.
Right.
All bias aside. Yes. All
right in your fucking
all bias
face.
aside.
That's where your bias is. I mean,
That first game against TCU, I've got it circled. Monday
are you
Night Football.
trying to convince GoJo he's going to be a great quarterback? What are you trying to get from GoJo? What do you want GoJo? Just tell him what you want him to say.
I think I'm trying to convince myself he's going to be a great quarterback.
Wait, so South Alabama to North Carolina. Quite honestly, Taylor, and I hate to say this to you,
I know who you're going to say.
The quarterback in that state that I'm most interested in is Darian Mensah.
He's unbelievable.
The kid that transferred from Tulane is a dude.
Yes.
So I am very curious to see how that goes for him in opposition, because I think that guy can play some ball.
When did Duke start getting $2 million for quarterbacks? That's not a world I want to be in.
They've always had it, Taylor. I mean, these schools have always had the money.
The Manny Diaz effect, baby. Ride the wave. It is fascinating though. Like we talked about it before. Stugotz, like you mentioned the transfer thing. There are not that many transfer quarterbacks in college football this year at some of the big time schools. It's Carson Beck, Fernando Mendoza, which is a great pick. Nate Tyson does a great job breaking these guys down, getting ready for the draft. Super high on Mendoza. He was fun at Cal last year. The offense does a lot of things that he does really well at IU. But then it's John Mateer at Oklahoma, Carson Beck, and then Miller Moss, who went from USC to Louisville to play in Brom's offense that just produced another highly drafted quarterback. But outside of that, it's a bunch of young guys who are going to get a shot to be homegrown dudes, and then guys that have stuck around long enough to be names in their program, which I think is good for college football. Like we talked about the portal effect on fan apathy, maybe, of not feeling like you know as many guys. You have guys that you know at the most glamorous position in the sport going into this year who are all, the NFL is begging these guys to be better than last year's class. So there's a lot of attention riding on it and a bunch of guys that we've actually gotten to know and see play in big moments, which is sweet.
Nate Tice is our guy, Taylor. If you want to know the quarterback, like the fourth or fifth best quarterback, all right, in college football this year, because we want to get behind that guy, much the way Barstool did with Josh Allen, and now they're friends with Josh Allen, okay? Then you need to get Nate Tice on, and he will tell us who we need to start promoting, okay? That's right. He would be the guy, right, Coach?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for like that like second tier of like here's the guy no one else, because everyone's going to talk about Arch Manning, we're all going to talk about Lenora Sellers and Garrett Nussmeier. Like those are the names everybody like me saying I think Garrett Nussmeier is the best quarterback in college football right now. Not a really adventurous take, but Nate Tice, I think in his first mock putting Fernando Mendoza as his top quarterback, that's a man with some chutzpah. So that's the one you need to get.
That's what I'm saying. Give us like 5 names, Taylor. Guys will be drafted, like late first round, early second round, mid second round. We do a rotation of those guys on the show, okay? We have each of them on every week. And then whoever turns out to be good, we roll with. And the ones who are bad, we never speak to again. I mean, that's it.
You got the system here. You just got to go execute now. That's all it is.
Tell us about the Echoes with Smetty. You're doing a Notre Dame podcast, GoJo. I am so happy for you.
It's a long time coming, man, especially for me and Smetty. Like we've been brain dumping our Notre Dame takes during games and after games for years now. And so the chance to do that weekly is going to be awesome. So it's every week. I believe we're posting every Wednesday from now, all through the season, through the rest of the year into 2026. And we're going to do a little bit of everything on this. Like obviously it's, preview season right now, it's the off season, but it's just going to be a great avenue to both geek out. Like, the Stugotz, we're generalists. Like, we do national sports talk radio podcasts. Like, a little bit about everything here to get to dive all the way in on this thing that's been one of the most impactful forces in my life, that being Notre Dame football and Notre Dame athletics in general. The entire campus experience is a dream come true.
for both of you. It's something you both love. I mean, it's such a great opportunity. I offered you the opportunity first, just so we're very clear. You rejected it and you went somewhere else, and that's a very smart move by you. I mean,
Stugotz, listen, when we're back at the negotiation table next time around, all of a sudden, maybe this offer becomes a little bit more compelling from your side. Maybe we've already Airbnb'd our money into oblivion, so we can just do this for free and for fun, and then we'll be good to go there. But in the meantime, at the Echoes ND Pod, wherever you are on social media, check out our YouTube channel as well. First episode out right now as you're listening to this. We do some expectations for the 2025 season. A little QB1 battle there. CJ Carr and Kenny Minchie. Stugotz, Lloyd Carr's grandson could be Notre Dame's quarterback this year. Come the fall. One of the highest priority Notre Dame quarterback recruits in a while on campus. So talk a little bit of that, little O-line injury, some story time in there. It's great stuff.
Little this, little that. I mean, that should be the name of a podcast. Little this, little that. By the way, I won't be able to pay you next year. Do you know how much I have to pay fucking Billy Gill? I mean,
that is true. Taylor, you getting paid yet?
We're getting to it. We're getting to it.
Hey, to Billy first.
The B in Billy stands for Brinks truck. I mean, Jesus Christ. Kid's got me by the nuts.
He's got kids to feed, man.
He's not a kid.
A kid.
He should save money and send them to someone else's pool.
Send him to shit at someone else's house. Airbnb.
Oh, my God. All right. Good luck with the podcast. I am happy for you guys. You do love that school. You love that program. Both of you do. And so it's a great opportunity for you. Taylor, one last one. Get GoJo out of here. He has to go. He's a busy guy, man.
I was watching Golic and Golic on the FanDuel Sports Network. And Stu, they had a guest on that instantly brought a smile to my face. Do you know who Bowling Green's football coach is?
No.
GoJo, you want to tell?
Eddie George.
What? Really?
Eddie George back in the state of Ohio, coaching at Bowling Green. Finished up at Tennessee State. The coach at Bowling Green left to become the Eagles quarterback coach.
Right.
And so they called up Eddie George and they said, Eddie, we know you love toting the rock in Ohio. Come out here and let's get this shit done. He was awesome too. That guy's lived a million lives, acted on Broadway.
Yes.
Obviously was like a dominant force of nature's fury as a football player, but just insane.
I never, ever in 20 years of doing this have I even had the thought to say to a producer what I'm going to say right now. But Taylor, get me the Bowling Green coach.
The Falcons.
Stupidity!